Yeah, I'm gonna have that Duuuval chant just absolutely ring into my ears. Alright, what up everybody? Welcome to another franchise mode video. This week is the Packers-Jaguars game. In real life, the Packers are 5-2 and the Jaguars are 2-5, but as you can see there, and this is going to be a pretty good battle between a 7-0 Packers team and a 6-1 Jaguars team on this. So, we're getting the ball first. If you're new to these videos, what we typically have done is we'll kind of do a quick recap of the previous week, so the Texans game, followed by the preview later on. But to start with, Green Bay got a dub against the Houston Texans, and probably the best way I've seen that described is, I think from a fan named Jake on the Packers live blog, was they were explosive, but sometimes implosive. So, joining me today is my friend Zach, aka Excabandai. What up, man?
Hello, everybody.
I tried to hit a button and I accidentally double tapped and it pump faked. So I am off to a great start here.
You got it. Do you see him? He's grabbing his crotch. You got him hurt, man. He needs that. He wants to be a dad.
Spread the love, baby. Anyways, but yeah, going into the Houston game, pretty good battle, even with Houston missing 5 starters on defense. But basically, the story of the first half there was the turnovers. I think Houston led 19-14 at halftime, but they had something like 16 points off of turnovers in the first half. Basically started off with Green Bay hitting the play action, kind of like we were talking about beforehand. They had that 23-yarder to Dobbs, a couple good Josh Jacobs runs, but then the first Jordan Love interception of the day. And I guess looking at it later on, he didn't see the defender jump off the route and kind of get there. So ball pops up.
Yeah, it was
picked.
a great play by the defense. Great play call by the defense because he was watching Love the whole time. It looked like he was supposed to cover the receiver breaking out, but he was watching Love. So as soon as he looked him off and went to make the other throw, he just got in the way and it caused an interception.
Like that.
Kind of like that, but a little different because Jair is king.
Down money. But yeah, and then the defense kind of set the tone right off the get-go. They had to man up with Houston all the way down to the 11 after the interception return, and they were able to force a field goal attempt out of that, which obviously close distance, not that hard of a kick. I don't know what the heck happened there. And then for the offense, it was kind of up and down that first half, because the couple drives after the first interception, they had that 13-play 92-yard drive that ended up with a Kraft touchdown, which also, man, that's awesome to see him just kind of become this big time tight end this year.
And that was a great catch.
Yeah, it was. I still love the social media team doing the hot piss versus cold piss afterwards.
Yeah, and even in the replay, like I saw someone go, the throw wasn't that great because the defender, almost intercepted it, and he should have thrown it more to the right. Well, if you look at the replay from where Love is throwing the ball, if he throws it more to the right, it's batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Please, let me have the catch.
Throw. Looks like 2 feet to me.
You're gonna say heel up. Nope, we're good. First and goal, baby.
Yeah.
But yeah, that drive too on that 13-play one. I keep thinking about that damn one defender from Houston hitting that WWE style like takedown to get the 15-yarder at one point too.
That was such a boneheaded penalty. It was so unnecessary.
Oh man, but yeah. So I mean, Green Bay goes up, 7-3 at that point, and then the sloppiness kind of picked right back up because Gary and company, which it was nice to see him balling out this past week. You know, they were able to force a punt, but then the miscommunication between Nixon and Ballantyne. Yeah, the ball ends up hitting off of Ballantyne, but Nixon just kind of backed off at the last second, and I guess the communication wasn't quite there from what I've been reading this week. But you know, 2 plays later, all of a sudden Houston's ahead 10-7 because Joe Mixon was having himself quite a day. And you know, you're like, oh come on guys, don't do this. And then that absolute dime to Wicks to retake the lead was pretty awesome, 14-10 on that one. But even that drive, Houston didn't help themselves with that 30-yard defensive pass interference when Murray ended up hitting Reed a little bit early. So it was, even on that drive too, like, as good as it was that Green Bay was able to get the touchdown, you almost had that disaster play like 2 plays beforehand where Love almost threw it backwards.
It wasn't even 2 plays. It was literally the play beforehand.
Was it the play? I couldn't remember if it was the play before or the 2 plays before, but yeah, I mean, it was like...
Yeah, it was literally the play before because we kind of rushed up to the line and snapped it. You know, maybe it was to get the defense off, you know, guard or whatever. But in the replay, it was definitely... Yeah, it was definitely close to being a fumble. You know, it just depends on, you know, I guess how the officials would have reviewed it, but it wasn't challenged.
I got another pick with John Money over there.
But yeah, it was a great throw. And the defense wasn't even set. Like, they were still watching the middle linebacker to, you know, understand what coverage they were playing when the ball was snapped.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, you know, obviously Green Bay takes the lead there and everything's feeling good, but then the rest of the first half just felt like the Joe Mixon show. You know, again, kind of said it before, he was running it down our throats. I think on their final 2 drives for Houston, they got a field goal on the first drive, and then after another bad Love interception where he was trying to find Watson, and I still don't know why we were throwing a deep shot first down when, you know, trying to get some points before half or whatever. But yeah, that was the second pick, 3rd turnover for the Packers at halftime. You know, they were able to they weren't able to get the stop on the touchdown that time, but they did stop the 2-pointer with Evan Williams, who was having himself a first half. But, I mean, that was how you got to...
It was a great stop.
Yeah, that's how we got to 19-14 at halftime, and then, you know, the second half started great. You know, the defense was able to force a 3-and-out, and then offense finally got Josh Jacobs that receiving touchdown he's been looking for forever. So that was pretty hype. And then basically after that, offense 404 not found. You know, it was slim pickings. I think Houston had punts on their next 3 drives, and Green Bay I don't even think got a first down on their next 3. I want to say it was all 3-and-outs from there. And we go all the way into the 4th quarter, and then Mixon, you know, started off the Texans' final drive with that 17-yard run to kind of get things going and got over the century mark and everything, but they ended up... Ooh, little bounce back run. Let's go. Get it.
Nice.
Like that all day. But yeah, they got in the field goal range eventually and took the 22-21 lead, and then, you know, when everything counted, Jordan Love and company got the job done on offense, got back into field goal range, and it felt like a freaking storybook ending over there with the new kicker on the same kind of problematic hash marks that we've been having all season. And first kick goes through easy, but timeout gets called, and then the second kick got really scary really quick, but stayed in. Shout out to Daniel Whelan for that amazing hold on the football to, you know, save that one. But yeah, I mean, walk-off 45-yard field goal to win it, and now Green Bay's 5-2. So overall, this is the first time since the end of the 21 season that Green Bay's 3 games above 500. I saw that from Ryan Wood's tweet. So, I mean, considering we were 2-5 last year at this time, I'll take that. And, yeah, what were your thoughts on the game real quick before we move on?
I thought overall it was a good game. The defense balled out. I mean, we did have the issues with Mixon, at times. But overall, we, contained him pretty well. And where is my rushing stat? Mixon ended up with fewer yards per carry than Jacobs by the end of that game, which is pretty impressive considering it felt like he was just running all over us. But it was more of like he had a couple really good drives and then he had a couple really big runs. And then taking those out, his average yards per carry was pretty normal. So the defense balled out. No turnovers, unfortunately, but they balled out. We held them to, was it 16 points were on turnovers? And 2 of those turnovers put the ball in the 11. So it's really hard to fault the defense for giving up points in those types of scenarios.
Let's go.
But if you take out the turnovers, we only allowed 6 points, correct?
Yeah.
On a regular kickoff or punt drive. So the defense did great. Stroud was averaging 277 yards per game passing over the last season and a half. So you're talking about what? Somewhere around 22, 23 games. He was averaging 277 yards passing, and we held him to 86, which is by far his fewest ever.
Yeah, I saw that that CBS stat at halftime said that the 44 yards that he had at halftime were the second fewest he had in any half of his career, or second fewest. And then Green Bay proceeded to make it even lower during the second half with 42.
I only gave up 42. And with the sacks, as a team, they only had 55 net passing yards, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, they had.
I know they had injuries to some of their wide receivers, but still, 86 yards.
They had the Jaguars O-line and Stroud, or not the Jaguars, the Texans O-line and Stroud and L right there with all the just pressures and everything that they had going on.
Yeah, I mean the defense was balling. Offense, they had 4 good drives, and they scored 24 points on those 4 drives, and the rest of the game was not good.
Yeah.
I mean, the first drive looked like it was moving prior to the interception, but it was, 3 plays before the interception? 4 plays, something like that?
Yeah, I think it was the 4th play, if I remember right, because you had Dobbs on the first big one.
Yeah, I don't think that's enough plays to consider that being a good drive up to the interception. It looked like it was going okay. And then, like you said, we had several 3-and-outs. There's just a lot of disjointed, didn't seem to be running the ball enough in the first half. They ran it a little bit better in the second half, but, it was still just, everything was just wonky. And, ooh.
I was trying to pick that off with McKinney, and all of a sudden Nixon got it.
Special teams, I guess, was fine. The long snapper had the bad snap on the field goal at the end that Whelan was able to salvage, and McManus, being an experienced kicker, was able to still get it through the uprights.
Yeah.
Because the first kick was a beauty. It was right down the center. Great snap, great kick. The second one, bad snap, great kick. Obviously, Ballantyne had the muff punt because for some reason he didn't bail when everyone else did. Maybe that's on Nixon. Maybe it's not. I don't know why Nixon didn't catch it, but I know that the other Packer gunner with Ballantyne bailed out, and they were practically side by side, and Ballantyne didn't, and it hit him. It's definitely weird, sitting at 5-2. The offensive rankings are relatively good. I mean, we're 7th in points for, 6th in yards. We do have more games played than some teams now that teams have gotten buys, and we haven't yet. But, we're effectively a top 10 offense based on the stats. The only real negative is the turnovers. We're 25th in turnovers. But the offense has been good statistically, but they're so streaky.
Yeah.
It's not even just this, past game. It's the games leading up to it. Pretty much every week, they've been streaky where they have a great drive and score a touchdown, and then they have 2 or 3 drives where they do nothing and punt after, a 3 and out, or maybe they get 1 first down and then punt. The missed field goals leading up to last week also hurt some of our points. I don't remember how many exactly we missed, but it was quite a few.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to give a shout out to Whelan before we go into the Jaguars preview too, because you had mentioned special teams. He had 5 punts for 284 yards, or average of 56.8 yards per punt. That I saw from Packers Talk was the second best single game average in Packers history. The only person that had a higher mark was Roy McKay back in 1945, where he had averaged 61.6 yards per punt against the Chicago Cardinals. But
yeah, I mean, he was balling.
Yeah.
And there's actually someone who posted a YouTube video before he got drafted talking about how he was going to be a great punter, and no one was talking about him.
I think that one was Isaac Punts, if I remember correctly. No.
I fail. I think so.
We're going for it.
Now that you mention it, I didn't remember the exact YouTube name. And I mean, he's played great. He kicks the ball hard.
See if I can get there. Heyday.
Nice.
I hope.
But yeah, overall, I think it was a great game. I can't even fault the defense. Like, if they keep playing like that, this team's going to be tough.
Oh yeah.
If the offense figures out whatever glitches that they have. I know Robert Saleh has been in practice this week, and maybe he can give some insights to LaFleur on where the offense is kind of failing, that's causing these inconsistencies. That's my hope anyway. I know that LaFleur said specifically he was there to help the offense, and he's not. Maybe he's given some pointers to the defense here and there, but that's not his kind of temporary role as he comes in and out of the team. Also, I didn't realize this till the other day, but Hafley worked with Saleh with the 49ers.
Yeah, that was the same deal. I kind of forgot that they were all connected over there too.
Yeah, he was a DB coach.
But
so I mean, anyone thinking that Saleh was going to be brought in to remove Hafley is crazy.
Yeah, and then so obviously a good win against the Texans. Now we got the Jaguars, who are coming back from London after 2 weeks overseas. They lost their first game over there to the Bears, and then they beat up the Patriots pretty good, which Patriots are, man, that's one of them teams where they're not good this year, but man, I felt like they were going to be better after first 2 weeks of the season. Kind of crazy. But,
I know this video is not about the Patriots, but they really seem to regress after the first couple weeks.
Yeah, my bowling teammates are not happy about that because they're all from up in the New England area, so it's pretty funny talking to them about their miseries on Tuesdays. But anyways, beside the point. Packers all time going up against the Jaguars are 5-2. They're 3-1 down here in Jacksonville, and the last time they were down here, we were actually at that game in 2016.
Yep.
That was the trip from hell for me for sunburn, because holy crap, we went to Florida State the day before and I got sunburned, and then I basically got a double sunburn when I went to the Jaguars game.
My man's was looking like a ripe tomato.
Bro, I looked like Mr. Krabs over there. I was so red. I was like, the Irish in me did not appreciate that sunburn.
Have you not seen a ripe tomato? Because that's what a ripe tomato looks like.
I mean, I know, but yeah. But anyways, so I checked about an hour ago. Green Bay is still about 4.5 point favorites everywhere. I think that's about where they opened up, was 4.5 point favorites. Checking the injury reports real quick. There's nobody officially ruled out on either side. Corey Ballantyne seems like he's going to be missing this week with an ankle injury, because he's been out of practice all week. He's officially doubtful.
Ankle injury.
He's officially doubtful. We might have Devontae Wyatt back this week after his ankle injury. He's been limited all week. Josh Myers is a little bit more hit or miss potentially because he has the wrist injury, but he did practice on Thursday, Friday, and then we probably are going to be without Quay Walker because he's still in concussion protocol as of this recording. So
yeah, it's very unlikely he gets cleared today to play tomorrow.
yeah, and then in Jacksonville's case, Cam Robinson, their left tackles, among the questionable. They also have Travis Etienne at running back. It seems like he's going to be out, but he's still officially questionable as well. And then they have Foye Oluokan, I think is how he pronounces his last name. Apologies if that's not, but he was on IR, but he could be returning this week, so that'd be a nice little boost for them. So kind of going into the Jaguars game, I think it's that's kind of weird timing with Etienne getting injured on the game. But yeah, I think I said this kind of against the Rams too, but Jacksonville just does not get turnovers this season. Unlike us just then, good play Stokes. So far so far this season, Jacksonville's only gotten 3 turnovers on defense. Cisco had that 1 interception on Caleb Williams before he continued on with his day of throwing 4 touchdowns that week. But then they've gotten like 2 fumble recoveries, 1 against Houston, 1 against Indy. Going into, the Jacksonville defense more, because this isn't a team that we normally follow too closely. But their defense is ranked last in opponent passer rating and last on DVOA. They've given up 16 touchdown passes already this season and about a 71% completion percentage against. So I'm hoping, I know they're going to get, a couple, I think, can't remember the cornerback's name now all of a sudden. But that's the reason why Savage is going back to safety this week.
Why does Dobbs look like Keyshawn Johnson?
I don't even know, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of hoping that Jordan Love just kind of has a clean game, maybe his first one without an interception thrown this season. And
that'd be great.
Yeah, Dobbs bruised his ribs in this game, so we'll sub Reed in. But I'm just hoping that Love has a clean game, put it to bed early. Maybe something sort of like the Arizona game on offense would be nice. Wow, that sucked.
Even that game had, its inconsistencies.
Yeah.
But it was better than the Texans game. To be fair, though, the Texans do have a really good defense. It was just like, if you can string together a good drive, why can't you do it more often?
Was he down? And yeah, it's definitely aggravating. But yeah, I mean, the one thing that Jacksonville seems to do pretty well on their defense, yay, it's not a fumble, is they get a decent amount of sacks. Outside of the Bills game, I think they've gotten 2+ sacks every single game, and that's mostly been Walker for them because he's at 6 sacks by himself, and then I think they have 10 sacks for everybody else combined. So,
jeez,
yeah, it's from what some of our Jaguars friends have been saying, he doesn't really have a whole lot of moves in his bag. A lot of his sacks just come from lining up wide and then brute forcing everybody. Hey. But
does he predominantly play left end or right end, or does he switch?
Anytime I've seen him, he's been on the left side. So he'd be going up against Zach Tom and them. But then on the defensive side for them too, they got, defensive side for us, the running backs seem to constantly get near the 100-yard mark against us, and now they got Tank Bigsby in there, and Bigsby's,
he's been playing well.
Yeah, he's gotten
considering the team record.
Yeah, he's gotten like 2 games now with 100 yards plus rushing in 3 weeks, and he's averaging like just over 6 yards a carry. That's a dangerous throw. Oh well, I'll take it. But I know D'Ernest Johnson with them too. He's been pretty solid too, even though he doesn't get as many carries. That scared me for a second when I overshot it.
Yeah, it was, you know, woo.
Yeah. But Johnson's had like 15 carries the last 2 games with about a 4-yard per carry average, and he's also had about another 50 yards receiving in that time frame. But I mean, there's some weapons on that side, even though they're 2-5 right now. So it's one of those you kind of hope Green Bay doesn't overlook the Jaguars, because I know Detroit's coming up next right afterwards, which that's going to be a massive game. Yeah, but their big play is going to be Brian Thomas right now. He's, from what I've seen with the Jaguars, he seems like he's kind of their big vertical threat as a rookie. So I don't know if we're going to end up putting Jair on him the entire time, or, you know, if they're going to, you know, try to mix and match and stuff. But even if you do give him quite a bit of attention, you got guys like Kirk right there that just made the catch on the game. Gabe Davis is there. You got Ingram back at tight end right now. So, and Trevor Lawrence is a pretty aggressive quarterback too. I think him and Love are pretty similar on like some of the downfield throws, 20+ yards. In fact, I want to say that Lawrence is the person that's had the most 20+ yard throws. So, ideally, Green Bay knocks the snot out of him with, you know, all the pressures and cook up something like Houston, get some turnovers there. But, you know, any wow, that was a bad drop.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah. But the one thing Green Bay does...
I like how in the graphic Lawrence is pointing at himself like it was a bad throw. Like,
yeah.
No,
it's like,
he hit him right in the hands. He just dropped it.
He's looking at it like, sorry, I'll personally deliver it to you next time. But, yeah, I mean, the last 3 weeks, Green Bay's done a great job of getting off the field on third downs. I think Minnesota, Houston, and Arizona have all been like 40% or less and on the season, which is a big difference from last year. But any thoughts on this week's game, Zach?
They can't look at Detroit.
Yeah.
That's going to be, in my opinion, that's probably going to be the biggest factor of whether this game is, I don't want to say a comfortable victory, but a competent victory versus a very tight loss or close win. Because they're looking at it. Detroit's playing well. You know, even in the games that the one that Detroit lost, and then the close games they've had, they still looked good. You know, they blew out Dallas. You know, they were very competitive against the Vikings and were able to pull it out at the end. They can't look past Jacksonville while watching Detroit, because if they do that, they're going to go down to Florida. It's going to be hot. You know, the high for Sunday is 85 degrees, which is sweltering for Wisconsin bros. You know, it's going to be hot. If they're focused on Detroit, they're good. What?
I hate onside kicks so much.
Okay, then. If they focus on Detroit, they're going to struggle in Jacksonville. Because Jacksonville's not a bad team. They're just a very inconsistent team. They have good players all over the place. They're just not putting it together very often. You know, Travis Lawrence makes mistakes. Running backs make mistakes. Offensive line makes mistakes. The defense is kind of hit or miss. Some drives they look great. Some drives they look terrible. There's just no consistency. But they're capable of scoring points. And they're capable of stopping the opposing team. Now, granted, last week they played the Patriots, who we've already discussed have been pretty poor so far this year. It's hard to, you know, kind of take a whole lot of stock in that. You know, how good were they really? But, I mean, they had a close game. They had a close game against the Colts. They had a close game against the Texans. You know, it was a close game against the Browns, close game against the Dolphins. You know, granted, Browns are not a very good squad right now, and the Dolphins are not playing well, but Tua was completely healthy in that time. So the current Dolphins, who are struggling without Tua, are not the Dolphins team from week 1. Yeah. The Bills annihilated them, and the Bears comfortably won. I think Jacksonville can pose a solid threat, especially in the heat, and especially if we're focused too much on Detroit because it's right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I'm worried about bringing my bad luck right now to Green Bay on
That's
the road
also
game.
true. You're going to be there. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, for everybody else outside of the games at Lambeau, because we went and saw Green Bay beat Tampa back
To be
in
fair,
17.
even in those games,
Yeah,
we were supposed to be better than we ended up being. You know, we didn't lose, but we underperformed.
yeah. I think that game against Jacksonville in 16 is the last Packers road game that I can remember us winning. Because I've been to Atlanta twice since then with losses. We've been to Buffalo. We've been to Well, yeah, we were at Buffalo. I was at Washington, and it did not go well. And I overpowered the hell out of that one. Sorry,
to be fair, in the Buffalo game, we probably played better than we expected in that one.
Yeah.
We kind of expected to get destroyed by Buffalo, and it actually ended up being kind of close. But yeah, I mean, the Atlanta game last year that you went to,
Yep.
we should have won that game. And, you know, we completely fell apart in the second half and they beat us. Even the Jacksonville game we went to, we won it, but we did not comfortably destroy a very bad Jacksonville team.
Season openers are always so weird, though.
It doesn't matter. You were there, and that's the reason.
Yep.
We went to the Tampa game at Lambeau, and you ordered the tickets, and then Rodgers got hurt, and then we ended up winning that game, but only because of an Aaron Jones run in overtime against a bad Bucs team.
Yeah, Brett Hundley, I think, was fewer passing yards than Stroud this past week. That week too.
It was rough. You know, we went to the Packers Bears game, the season finale last year, and based off how all of the games, the previous like 5 weeks leading into the season finale, on paper we should have comfortably beaten the Bears at home, and we didn't. It was a good game to watch, but we didn't play great overall. You know, it was just kind of like this year. We had some streaky moments. I know division games at the end of the year, you know, they get weird. But we still didn't play as well as we probably should have. And I blame that solely on you.
Yeah, that's about reasonable to me. But I guess too, since we're wrapping up this game and it's going to move us to 8-0 on this franchise mode, what's your score prediction for this week?
Well, because of everything I just said, I'm expecting 20-17 Packers.
Yeah, I actually had Jaguars also pegged for 17. I was going 30, but now as you're talking, shut up. Let's go.
Anyway, finish your prediction.
Yeah, I was gonna say 30-17 Packers, but I could definitely now see it closer to like a 24-17 just because of me being there.
And I truly, I don't think that a lot of people take into account that the weather in Florida is rough at this time of year for teams that practice in 60-degree weather every day.
Yeah.
You know, I actually don't even know what the temperature is in Green Bay at the moment.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know it's like 84 where we're at right now. But
it is currently 48 degrees in Green Bay.
Jesus. That sounds beautiful right now. Also, why the hell did
LaFleur
come in and pointing his finger at me going, "Hey there, bud. Good job."
Because he likes you so much. It's 48 degrees. The high today is 54. They're going to fly sometime today to Jacksonville, where it's going to be 85 degrees tomorrow. That's a 30-degree difference.
I guess the one good thing is
people don't take it into account, but that is a drastic difference between practicing. Like, They're probably in the Don Hudson Center practicing today solely so that they're not practicing in cold weather.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, didn't have a great stack.
But I doubt it's 85 degrees in there.
Avoided the turnovers this week. Put Lawrence in hell right there. Holy crap. 4 picks. As a Florida State fan, if Trevor Lawrence throws 4 picks while I'm in the stadium, I'm going to cheer so hard and probably get kicked out for being obnoxious. But
what did he do? He's a belligerent drunk. He didn't even drink.
like, oh my god. But as we wrap this one up, the plan right now is we were planning on doing that Madden online head-to-head. I'm going to wait until after this week's video, so the plan is to kind of recap this game in real life, the Packers Jaguars, plus just kind of talk about some of the games around the league this week in that video. So ideally we'll record it probably Monday and have it out Wednesday. That's the goal right now. And then we'll do the franchise mode preview against Detroit the following week. And I'm happy I get to use those 50s jerseys. So that'll be nice. I'm also planning on doing a NASCAR Heat video next week. So that will be out. If everything goes according to plan and work doesn't screw me on this, I'll have the Madden video out Wednesday, Madden video out Saturday, and then a NASCAR video on Sunday for everybody. And then ideally, there'll be a clip or 2 in there for shorts from Fortnite games that we've been playing, so outside of that, I don't think I have anything else right this second.
I don't either.
Alright, well, didn't even have to ask. That's a good deal. So, yeah, go Pack Go. I'll share some pictures and stuff from the game, and hopefully we're not talking about me cursing the Packers again next week. But
you better not.
I hope not. That'll be embarrassing. But until then, go Pack Go.
Baby, it's you and I